Hello everyone, and welcome to today's sermon, brought to you by the Satanic Monastery. There's a lot of literature and even podcasts out there explaining what atheistic Satanism is, so we will let them do that. Our small congregation only aims to provide a small candle of satanic philosophy around which the like-minded may warm their hands. My name is Brother Cassian Locke, and today I wish to speak about what Satan means symbolically in terms of opposition, inquiry, and rebellion. Think back. Go on, really think. Sift through the quiet archives of your own memory to the first time you said the word no. Not the reflexive no of a toddler denied a toy, but a no forged in the heat of a moment. A boundary. A line drawn in the sand with your own trembling finger. Perhaps you were a child, staring down at a plate of something grey and slimy, an insult to your senses, and the word rose up from your gut, hot and undeniable. Or maybe you were a teenager, faced with rules so arbitrary, so monumentally stupid it defied the very laws of logic, and you simply couldn't let it pass. In that moment, the adults around you likely reacted with frustration. Their faces would change, the warmth would vanish, replaced by a cold, hard authority. They called it defiance, backtalk, disrespect, testing your limits. But in that no, something miraculous happened. In that sudden, sharp intake of breath from the authority figures in your life, you became visible. For the first time, perhaps, you were not a mirror reflecting their desires, not a quiet vessel for their ambitions, not a prop in the domestic drama of their lives. You became a point of view, a singular, unrepeatable perspective. That friction, that glorious, terrifying refusal to simply dissolve into the background of someone else's expectations. That was the spark of your own consciousness igniting. That friction is not a flaw. It is the engine of the self. And that, my friends, is the essence of the adversary. We live in a culture that prizes getting along over getting it right. It's a suffocating consensus. From the echoing pews of gilded cathedrals where harmony is sold as a celestial reward for earthly submission, to the soul-crushing cubicles of modern corporations, bathed in the sterile light of fluorescent tubes, we are relentlessly conditioned to believe that not making waves is the highest good. Peace, they tell us, is the absence of conflict. What a pathetic, flaccid peace. We are taught that to be a good person is to be compliant, to be agreeable, to be pleasant, to smile when you want to scream, to nod when you want to shout, and to accept the natural order of things without ever asking who ordained it. The cost of this compliance is your autonomy. It is the price of your soul, paid not in a single dramatic transaction, but in 1,000 tiny daily installments of self-betrayal. When we lose the ability to play the adversary, we lose the ability to think critically, to feel authentically, to act with true integrity. We see this in the way people stay silent in the face of blatant injustice. A racist remark passed off as a joke, a colleague's idea stolen by a superior, because they don't want to cause a scene. Their fear of social discomfort outweighs their commitment to what is right. We see it even more insidiously in the way we suppress our own reason to fit into a political or social tribe. You watch someone you once admired perform breathtaking mental gymnastics to defend the indefensible actions of their chosen side, parroting the talking points like good little soldiers because the tribe is their identity. To question it would be to question themselves. When we stop inquiring, we stop growing. We begin to rot from the inside out. A society without the spirit of rebellion is not a peaceful society. It is a society that is already dead. It is merely waiting for the burial. The adversary is the necessary friction that transforms blind obedience into conscious autonomy. The traditional narrative, inherited from centuries of Christian hegemony, tells us that Lucifer fell because of pride, the sin of thinking he was equal to the Creator. This script teaches that hierarchy is divine and that your place is to serve. In this worldview, Satan is a personification of malice. We are taught that to oppose the status quo is to be evil, and to inquire too deeply into the mechanics of power is to be tempted. This script serves only one purpose: to keep the powerful in their seats and the inquisitive in their place. As we read in Anatole France's The Revolt of the Angels, the rebellion against the celestial tyrant is not an act of hate, but an act of education. Reason tells us that no authority is beyond questioning. If a god, a government, or a boss cannot withstand the inquiry, they do not deserve your loyalty. In Paradise Lost, Milton's Satan famously declares that it is better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. Symbolically, this isn't about cruelty. It's about the radical realization that a difficult freedom is infinitely more virtuous than a comfortable slavery. Progress, scientific, social, and personal, has never come from an amen. To embrace the adversary is not to become a mindless contrarian. It is a discipline of the mind. It means practicing the sacred no. This week, when you encounter a truth that is presented as absolute or a social norm that feels restrictive, do not simply swallow it. Apply the Satanic inquiry. Who does this serve? Is this grounded in reason? Does this respect my autonomy? We use the ritual of our lives to deconstruct the gods of our age, capitalism, patriarchy, and dogma, and replace them with the self-determined path of compassion and justice. Now, some might ask, their voices laced with the kind of cautious common sense they mistake for wisdom. But isn't this a recipe for chaos? If everyone is an adversary, if everyone is constantly questioning and pushing back, how can we have community? How can we build anything? It would just be a world of endless selfish arguments. This is a valid fear, but it's born from a misunderstanding of the tool. A hammer can be used to build a house or to crush a skull. The problem isn't the hammer. This is where our core principles of compassion and reason are not just add-ons. They are the very framework that gives the adversary its purpose. Being an adversary doesn't mean being a nihilistic wrecking ball or a petty bully. A bully attacks the weak to feel strong. An adversary challenges the strong to protect the weak. The target is everything. The bully enforces their own arbitrary will. The adversary tests flawed systems and unjust authority. The motive is different entirely. In fact, true rebellion is often an act of extreme, profound compassion. It is the rebellion of the whistleblower who sacrifices their career to expose corporate poison. It is the rebellion of the friend who riskily confronts another about their self-destructive addiction. It is the rebellion of the person who, at a comfortable dinner party, shuts down a racist joke, choosing momentary social friction over complicity and dehumanization. That is the adversary in action, and it is the very glue that can hold a real community together. A community of autonomous individuals who have agreed to work together is 1,000 times stronger than a flock of sheep who follow because they have no other choice. A flock of sheep is a unified, peaceful, right up until the moment the wolf appears. Then it is just a massacre. A community of adversaries is more like a pack of wolves. They may snarl and snap at each other over strategy. They may challenge the pack leader's direction, but they have forged their bonds through reason and shared purpose, not through fear. When an external threat arrives, they are a unified, intelligent, and utterly devastating force. Their unity is a conscious choice, not a default setting. Conflict, when handled with reason and a shared goal of justice, is not chaos. It is the forge where progress is hammered out on the anvil of reality. This week your ritual is simple, but it is not easy. I challenge you to find your adversarial moment. I want you to conduct an audit of your own soul. Identify one area in your life, at work, in your family, or in the sacred, private space of your own internal dialogue, where you've been saying yes out of habit or fear. Is it the extra work you silently take on because no one else will? Is it the political opinion you parrot to avoid an argument with a relative? Is it the voice in your own head that says you're not good enough and you never ever argue back? Find it. Now stop. I want you to slam on the brakes. In that moment of automatic compliance, I want you to create a pocket of stillness. Ask the question you've been afraid to ask. Not with aggression, but with genuine burning curiosity. Ask why. Ask, who does this serve? Ask, what would happen if I said no? Exercise your autonomy by offering a reasoned opposition, even if it's only to yourself. Do not do it to be cruel, do it to be honest. This is not an act of destruction, it is an act of creation. You are creating the self you were meant to be. The no is where your freedom begins. It is not an end, but a beginning. It is the key that unlocks the cage of expectation. Remember this above all else. The adversary is not the horned beast they threaten you with to keep you in line. It is the quiet, stubborn ember of why, glowing in the darkness of your own doubt. It is the spark of inquiry in the mind. This is our path. This is our truth. Reason guides us, rebellion defines us, and autonomy keeps us free. Thank you for attending today's sermon. We will aim to keep these to something akin to a bi-weekly schedule. That being every 2 weeks, though that may or may not happen. The Satanic Monastery is a small collection of like-minded Satanists who believe in the 5 central pillars of atheistic Satanism: compassion, reason, justice, autonomy, and discipline. I have been Brother Cassian Locke. We hope to see you next time. Hail Satan, and hail thyself.